In 2006, a dynamic dance duo formed to take on the world. This Anglo-Australian partnership promptly traveled the globe, learning from the masters of dance. If no one else has the answers, and if you can find them, maybe you should get in touch with Dizzyfeet.
If you've got the questions,
we've got the answers. Good evening.
oh, where am
Good evening, everyone. Hopefully we are not
Good evening.
crackling. I hope. Please do. You will tell us. You know, if we are or we're not. I'm sure you'll tell us immediately. I don't want to turn the volume up on the thing down here, just in case it gives feedback. But you're great for the feedback. So it's good evening from me.
It's good evening from him.
Yeah, and it's another Friday night. It's just us again. There's no video this evening. It's at a very difficult stage.
Your hair.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
at a very difficult stage. It's difficult. You're fine. Thanks, Margaret. Thanks, Margaret. Are you talking about the sound or just how I look? You're fine. Yeah, well, I might show you some footage later if I can get myself motivated to do it of the recordings we did at the Hilton the other day when the wind was blowing. It was awful.
Oh no, don't.
I had a Philip Wiley going on. Years ago when we... honestly, I might have to... We bought Buddy some treats that are chicken treats.
Dried chicken.
Dried chicken. It is the most revolting smelling,
Smells disgusting.
obnoxious stuff ever. It's horrific. And so I said, whoa, that stinks. And she said, oh, I've sealed the lid because the lid's over here. And I said, I only gave him a few. It's like a mound of them down there.
It's not a
on his
mound.
mat. It was just loads of them.
You're looking at the mound of the other tree.
No, I'm looking at that down there. No wonder it stinks.
Yeah, but it keeps him happy.
Oh, I can't believe he would like to sit and eat things that smell that disgusting. Well, he eats his own poo, I suppose. He would.
No, he doesn't.
Well, dogs do, though, don't they? Dogs do eat poo. Don't they?
Not usually their own, I don't think.
Tell someone else, that's fine.
Well, they usually...
Don't eat your own.
They usually sometimes eat poo that's not theirs.
Yeah.
Like cat poo or something.
Yeah. Mm.
Apparently it's because they're looking for certain nutrients.
I see. And you find those in poo, do you?
Yeah, well...
Well, dogs might do. Dogs might do. What a great chat
That's nice.
we started off the evening
Yeah.
with. So good evening, those people that have said hello. Hello. Kelly looked sad.
Oh, I looked sad. What when you first came on? I was just like, I was looking at something and I didn't realise we were on.
Mm.
So I was sort of, I can't remember what I was looking at.
Evening YouTube. Evening YouTubers. YouTubers. Did you get what I said there? YouTube. No, it doesn't matter. Was I something else in a previous life with my sense of smell?
These really do smell bad.
No, they are disgusting.
But unfortunately, Buddy loves them.
I will bring them when I see people at the street.
Shove
I'll bring
them
them, shove them in their faces.
it's
This is what I have to put
foul.
up with. They are disgusting. Yeah. Maybe I was a sniffer dog. It was only like this after I had my operation, so I had frontal sinusitis.
He is very difficult to live with, though, because he'll walk into a room and...
Oh, you're talking to me? I thought you were talking about the dog for a second. No, it's me you're talking about.
Yeah, because of your sense of smell.
Yeah.
And there could be the faintest smell of something and he'd pick up on it. It's It's difficult because I have to try and fumigate everything, otherwise he's complaining about it.
I don't like bad smells. What can I say? I mean, who does?
You are partly responsible.
What? I can't help that. You don't mind your own smell sometimes, do you? Some people might be eating. Well, can't help that. Yeah. You like to roll in fox poo, Sigrid? Oh no, I misread that. Sorry. They like to roll
in
around.
poo,
Not
fox
you.
poo.
Not you like to roll around in fox poo. That would be strange if you did.
I don't know, they are strange, aren't they?
What, dogs?
Yeah, dogs.
Haha, Sarah Ball says keep the dog, but James has got to go. That's nice, isn't it? Charming. Living charming.
To be fair, James is easier than the dog at the moment, anyway. Yeah.
Outrageous. So I put a new picture up at the beginning. Some people have commented on the picture.
Oh, what picture was that?
It was.
I didn't see it.
No, you didn't, did you? It's. I'll show you. I'll switch to it quickly now because I can do that sort of thing.
Are you clever?
I know. I'm very clever. So that's. What I forgot though is that there's no microphone attached to that, so they couldn't hear us. His vote then. So that's the picture we had at the beginning. But we haven't now. We've just got.
Is that what the one that Ros was referring to?
Yeah, I think that's what Roz was referring to. That was at the WDO in Amateur World Championships in 2019, October 2019.
Oh, in October. Sorry.
Yeah. Might have been November. Was it November?
October, November time in 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not that.
We got quite a few nice pictures that night, actually. You were there, Roz. I know you should know. You know. Yeah, very smart with my glasses, apparently. Yeah. How did the sleepover go? That was there, I guess. Well, it was cut short because
that was the night I broke my toe.
Yeah, Kelly broke her toe that night, which wasn't a great thing, was it?
Well, it was at midnight, so it wasn't really.
No, it wasn't.
Short.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It was 11:30.
Okay.
Well, before 11:30, because Ella and I were settling down, getting ourselves ready for midnight snacks. Ella's got this thing in her head when she has a little
sleepover. She has to have midnight snacks.
Midnight snacks. So
even if she can barely stay awake.
I know. Although I was nodding off. She was full of beans still. And then she breaks her toe, so I have to run downstairs. And she said, "I think I've broken my toe." So I'm playing around with it. No, that's right. I think she just knocked it out of its socket.
You didn't play around with it. You saw it.
And I thought maybe you dislocated it. And so I tried to fiddle around with it, and that wasn't happening. So then she went.
Touch it?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
didn't
know.
Yeah. Then she went grey, literally grey, and her lips went colourless and everything. So I thought, maybe we need to go to A&E. Yeah, and maybe it isn't dislocated. Maybe it is broken. So.
Which it is.
So we flew up there. I've never got to A&E so quickly in all my life. The roads were empty. It was marvellous. Great for a nice bit of burn up on the road. And then she was in and out within an hour, which was marvellous.
Yeah. So I broke both bones in the little toe, and it was sideways. Not completely, but it was out there.
We're not going to put a picture up of it, are we?
No, some people get grossed out by that, don't they?
No,
So I wouldn't make you look at that. But
that wasn't pleasant. I'm going to just open this door.
It doesn't look as bad as it sounds, actually. And it is my little toe, so it's not too bad, I guess. Probably if it had been a bigger toe, it might have been worse.
Well, as I said to you, you don't need your little toe.
He suggested chopping it off.
No, I didn't. That was being facetious, of course, but you don't need your little toe. So if you break it and it is deformed or whatever, you don't really need it. You don't really. If it's sticking out, of course, that's a pain because it means you can't get shoes on.
They did straighten it, by the way. They did straighten it.
But we don't use it for anything. The surplus to requirements. If you lost your big toe, then you're stuffed. You're stuffed. Because you use that for balance.
That's weight bearing.
Yeah. Can Kelly dance despite the foot? Don't know yet. It's only been a week.
I don't know.
Well, not even been a week yet, but it's healing up wonderfully. You're hobbling around a bit, aren't you?
Well,
with your flip to flops on.
I'm avoiding putting too much weight through it. That's all. So, like I say, it is my little toe, and it's not used an awful lot. But you know, I'm just kind of not putting too much stress on it. The times where I have tested it out a little bit, it just starts to ache. So I don't know. They said 4 to 6 weeks for it to heal up properly. So yeah, but there's nothing you can do. You've got to kind of carry on as best you can. But I don't know how much dancing I'm going to be able to do yet. I just have to see how it goes. Play it by ear.
Is James waiting on you properly?
Is he waiting on me?
Well, I do cook dinner almost every night in the week.
Yeah, but that's
well, okay. Well, I'll stop that then, shall I? Look at the face. Look at it.
No, he's not waiting on me.
No, I don't need to wait on us. You're not incapable, are you? You're not. You're not.
It It's just the sympathy part, isn't it? It's like looking
You know I
after
don't
you.
do that sort of thing.
No, he doesn't. No, I'm used to it.
I'm not very
used to it.
sympathetic.
No, not at all. You know what? I really struggle to get a cup of tea in the morning from you. It's just no way.
Well, that's because you're already awake
Yeah.
and I'm still in bed.
Yeah.
It's
He
difficult.
sleeps in
How
like
can I take you a cup of
2
tea?
hours later than I
How
do.
can I take you a cup of tea if
You
you're
should get up-
downstairs?
You should get up with me.
I should get up, go downstairs, make you a cup of tea, and then leave it with you and go back to bed. Or you want me to wake up with you? When it's sunny and when it's warmer, I will.
It'd be nicer if you woke up
When
with
it's sunny and warmer, I will.
me. Be easier on me as well in the mornings because I'm trying to deal with Buddy and Ella and all that. So we're just having a little domestic.
I am taking him for walks every day now.
Only because you have to.
Yes, well, I'm still doing it. I could say no, I'm not doing it. He can walk himself. He was much. He's a pain though, but he was much better today. Yeah, he was much better today. Ella and I walked him today. Anyway, we're not talking anything about dancing, are we?
Have we not yet?
No, we haven't mentioned anything about dancing yet. Yeah. Are we in competition for injuries? No. Well, I think Kelly's toe trumps that massively.
I've trumped his little
Yeah.
head fiasco.
Little head.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's all
gone.
gone
Yes,
now.
it's healed.
Yeah.
So I've just got some spot remnants now. I've got a bit of a spot breakout.
That's toxins. Getting
Yeah, I'm trying to
coming
get. Yeah, I'm trying to detox a little bit, get
coming out
toxins
of
out.
your body.
Yeah. Oh, for goodness sake, Duncan, I don't need you hassling and press ganging people. On,
They're all.
I don't
on
need
my...
you hijacking our live stream.
They're all on my side.
Well, at the moment, it's just Sigrid and Duncan.
Just say no. They all think the same. They all think.
Sigrid and Duncan, is that a bit like PJ and Duncan?
I don't know.
You don't know what that means, do you?
No, I don't.
Well, of course, Margaret, because Margaret, did you? On an additional note, how many of you saw
He does
the
cook dinner for me.
Yeah, how many of you? Nice dinners.
Yeah, they're nice dinners. Yeah. But
Last
I do
night,
cook as
yesterday, I spent all day yesterday in the office.
well. Mm.
Didn't I? Processing videos, doing all sorts of things.
Mm.
Dropped Ella off, picked Ella up, came back, did all the processing, organised all the stuff that you've probably recently seen. And then I go downstairs thinking that dinner would have been made. What have you done for dinner? Nothing. So then I made a chilli from scratch, and then burnt our mouths off because I made it too hot.
I like to just put it. They're just normal things. James.
That's normal life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Normal life.
That's what everyone has to do.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Everyone has to work and cook and do things.
I didn't finish till 8 o'clock.
So
What were you doing before then?
I did a bit of meditating.
You sat in the dark
I
listening to
did.
some music.
I did. Yeah. To try and heal. I was trying to. Yeah.
Anyway, so
Center myself.
if you saw the Wednesday night recap video, which I put live yesterday, I don't know if many of you saw the little quip I made to Margaret. Margaret, that was just a joke. Of course, Margaret hasn't responded to it, actually. I don't know if Margaret's actually watched it.
Just responded to what?
The recap video yesterday.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it was a joke.
Yeah, of course it was
If
a
you
joke.
haven't seen it yet, don't worry.
We've got a dance question,
Okay.
which is good, and it kind of lends itself to me advertising stuff again as well, which is all good. Always an angle, Cal, always an angle. So Ray's got a question.
Yeah.
He said that on your Southampton Open titles comp, American Smooth and Rhythm, we advertised that. Just wondering what that is. Well,
Oh! You can hear them in the garden.
you can hear them outside, yeah.
Sorry about that, everyone.
So if you're not familiar with, too familiar with ballroom dancing, and you're relatively new to it, some of you might not know this. So American Smooth and American Rhythm are American styles of ballroom and Latin. And what they've done is they've created their own genre a little bit, using some of the basic figures and things and stuff that we'd have in normal ballroom and Latin. And they come up with their own dances that break apart, basically, in the ballroom anyway. It's a bit like Nouveau, a bit like Sequence a little bit, so it's a bit of a version of that. The Latin is, I can't really explain it. It's very different, isn't it? But basically they're all rumba, aren't they?
I don't know.
Yeah, apart from the mambo.
Okay.
Yeah, because you've got the rumba, which is a rumba, but it's danced on bent knees. It's an American style rumba, so a South American style rumba. So
Right.
more traditional, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah.
Then you got the mambo, but then you got the bolero, which is a rumba, and then you've got something else, the hustle, I think. Is it the hustle? I can't even remember.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I'm clueless when it comes to American
Yeah.
Smooth and Rhythm. But,
In Pro-Am comps,
Mm.
so in the Pro-Am comps that are now taking over a little bit across the globe, obviously Pro-Am dancing started predominantly in America. So they obviously incorporated their American dance styles into those comps. So now as it's growing, it's and those dance
There's
styles are
more
being
people doing it here
reintroduced.
now. Yeah.
Being introduced to this country as well, and it's quite popular, and it's nice. It's different. It adds a little bit of a different twist to everything. So it's certainly very appealing. I've not done any of it, neither has Kelly. So it's not something that we particularly do. We wouldn't do it. We typically don't do what we don't know, do we?
Mm.
So we only stick to what we know rather than doing something that we don't know badly. You know.
Or not very well.
Yeah, or not very well, of course. Yeah, of course. So there we go. So that's what that is. I mean, there's plenty of stuff to lock at on YouTube about it.
Yeah,
So just
if you
have a
type
little
it in,
look,
you'll see loads of stuff.
And if you come to the comp, you'll see some of it as well. I don't know how much you'll see because it all depends on scheduling. Because with the last two comps that we've run, the American Smooth is quite well supported, but with and the rhythm as well, but with not many professionals. So that means that one or two professionals come with their students and dance in multiple categories, but it means that we can't have people all dancing together in the same time because there's only one professional and he's got all these partners. So we have to. It's like a procession of. He dances with one lady, and he dances with another lady, and he dances with another lady, and that takes up a lot of time, which is normally fine. But on a one-day event, when we want to try and cram in as much as possible, we've got to be mindful of that. So we might not have as many of those events.
Yeah.
But you'll still have some of them, for sure. Yeah, for sure.
It's unfortunate we've only got one day.
Well, yeah, it is. But,
But in a way that's...
we don't want to
yeah.
push ourselves too much.
Mm.
You can close that one.
I didn't realise he was back.
Yeah,
That's enough.
that's enough. Close that. Shut that window.
That's
Right.
isn't it?
So hang on. Margaret has seen it. Actually, I think she did see the recap video. Teresa Latta says, we don't know how Margaret had the nerve. I do, because she just does, doesn't she?
She does it all the
I
time.
think she might have a little bit of Tourette's, actually. Where these things just come out and doesn't really realise she's saying it.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. You did see it at the last Britannia Secret, yes. You did, if you watched it, yes. We had American Smooth and American Rhythm. And Sarah Ball asks, when is the deadline to enter? I don't know at the moment.
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet.
It could be right up to the last
Well,
minute.
normally I'd like to give it 2 weeks typically.
Yeah.
So we'll know for sure within 2 weeks of the comp whether it's going to happen, you see. So for sure, I think 3 weeks before, I should think, wouldn't we? We'll know exactly the roadmap.
We'd like to think we'd know by then.
Yeah, so it'll give people the chance that are unsure to perhaps enter. As I said on the little video about the comp, if there are any restrictions of any kind, we won't be running the comp. So if we're forced to socially distance or forced to wear masks and that sort of thing in the venue, or you're forced to show some sort of certificate or whatever, then it won't happen. It won't happen because I think that alienates a lot of people potentially. So it won't be happening. So we have to have a free and open event where everyone can just come along and turn up. So anyone can really come. Otherwise, it's just not worth us.
Also, in terms of practicalities, especially with social distancing, I mean, those that have been, you've seen the room, and we take up a lot of the room with the floor.
Yeah.
It's quite a narrow room. It's long but narrow, and people just wouldn't be able to see anything if you had to space them all apart. And then there's the problem of, well, we need spectators.
Yeah, well, that's the way it keeps.
Dancers want to
going.
dance in front of a crowd, don't they? So, it needs to be as normal as it needs to be normal, really. That's what we want. So.
Oh, for goodness sake! Every time I get a question from Julian, I have to, for goodness sake.
It's a technical thing.
Well, no, it's not technical. It's quite detailed, though.
Oh goodness!
It's a deep and meaningful question.
Mm.
I'll come to that one. Yeah. So the other thing that I announced yesterday on the update, so the April update video, was next Sunday, not this Sunday coming, not Easter Sunday, next Sunday, I will be hosting a Zoom class for Vincent Simone. So he lives in Spain. He's got a little studio out there, and he's got a new little demonstrative partner, and he's going to be doing a Argentine tango workshop on Zoom. I'll host it, so you'll log in as you would normally. It'll be different login details to those on a Wednesday, but you log in and you can have a fabulous time listening and learning from the Argentine tango master. So that's Sunday week on a Sunday, 12 o'clock GMT, because you can tune in from anywhere in the world, couldn't you? Yeah,
if you want to.
Yeah, so it'll be a bit of fun, a bit different. And just before we go back to a little bit of normality as well, so you might well be stuck indoors, not allowed out necessarily to go anywhere. Well, nothing's open. You might be in the garden, but it's per household. So the 15 quid's per household. So you could have 2 households in your garden and put it on a big screen or on a laptop or something and watch it in your garden and dance all together in the garden. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Be lovely. Yeah. Actually, so I think it'd be quite nice. So if people want to join in with that, it's really easy and accessible.
Tried to make it really affordable and yeah.
There we go.
Oh yeah, a lot of people liked the workshop.
Yeah, they always like his workshops. Actually, people always. He's just entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he did do the workshop. Yes, Sarah. Yeah. Yes, we know. Jonathan and Teresa have signed up.
Oh, good.
They've already signed up. Nicholas already signed up. A handful of other people already as well. Only released it yesterday, of course. So slowly getting out there. Is there a limit
to how many people you can have?
No limit at all.
Okay, it doesn't affect.
No, because the thing we've got now is no limit.
Okay, that's good.
No, so, yeah.
Could be big.
Could be big. Yeah, it could be big. Yeah. Who knows?
It should be fun anyway.
Yeah, it should be fun. I mean, I was talking to him yesterday about it, and he hasn't worked either at all. Hardly.
Yeah.
So it's we sometimes you think that certain people are not immune to these things, but creatives, I suppose, like us and like them, like him, I suppose. Oh yeah, Julie signed up as well. I didn't realise Julie was in tonight. They struggled as well. They struggled as well because he has a lifestyle. Well, he told me about his lifestyle. Obviously, he lives a wonderful lifestyle. But so suddenly it's all cut short, and he just can't live. So you think these people are going to be okay that are on the telly on
but that's not
many
necessarily
celebrities, but it's not necessarily true. Actually, everyone's been affected in some way. Everyone's been affected in some way. So this is another way for him to still keep his toe in, so to speak, keep active, keep involved.
Get back into it a little bit.
Yeah,
well,
so
he's going on tour again soon.
Yeah, September. But
September.
So he won't have done anything since March last year. Nothing at all.
When you're used to working
really
all the time.
Oh
my goodness.
Buddy, that's Ella.
That's just Ella.
For goodness sake.
He's very barky at the moment.
Oh dear. Are we in competition for injuries? No. No, we're not. Who is Vincent's new partner? It's a lady that lives in Spain who's an ex-competitor. An English lady that lives in Spain.
So yeah, just by chance.
Just by chance, lives up the road. You couldn't believe it. I don't think he bumped into her literally, but he came to know about her there, and yeah, that was it. Yeah.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah, 17th at the World Championships, I think she was.
Oh, okay.
Senior World Championships. Yeah. So she's decent.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. I don't know who's dancing within the tour though. I don't know if it's Ksenia still. I'm not sure.
Don't know.
I'm
sure.
Don't know. We'll find out.
We will find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. So, any more dancing questions? I have got one on the back burner.
Is that Julian's?
Yeah. He lives just 20 minutes or so away from Alicante. Yeah. So not too far from there. But he said it's lovely. When I spoke to him yesterday, it's beautiful and sunny. Typical, isn't it? Living in the sun. Lovely.
His buddy T.
Things are much more tolerant. It's much easier to tolerate things when the weather's nice, isn't it?
Oh gosh, yeah. Well, the lockdown in the summertime was easier, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was definitely easier to manage.
And the one just gone. Definitely. Roz asks his buddy teething.
Well, his teeth keep falling out, so yeah.
Well, I haven't noticed any for a while, so I
not.
don't know if he's finished now. He's 6 months now, so I think he's close to finishing if he hasn't. But I did find 3 or 4. But that's going back.
You left them on the sideboard.
Well,
I came across and found it.
Yeah,
What's he keeping these for?
I'm not keeping them. I put them in the bin. It's just where I picked them up and put them.
Tooth Fairy didn't come to see him, did he? Or she?
No. He's a dog.
Where's he gone?
He's out there.
Oh,
On rest.
Oh, is he on rest?
He's having a rest from barking.
So if you haven't got any more dancing related questions, I'll get cracking into Julian's, which is it's an epic one. It always is. They always are. So, and people aren't going to know what I'm talking about.
Some people won't. Some people will.
So, in most walks of life, in most industries, there are governing bodies, and they are in charge of things. I suppose you've got the IOC. Yeah, you've got the IOC, which is the International Olympic Committee, haven't you? So they are in charge of the Olympics. You've got FIFA, obviously, and you've got UEFA, and I suppose then you've got the FA. So you've got your individual things. You get the idea. So, but in dance, it's a bit complicated because there's so many. There's so many. We've got the British. So in England, ballroom and Latin American dancing, is governed by the British Dance Council, which is the BDC. Now they're in charge of all ballroom and Latin dance, and old time and sequence and disco. So anything that's in like that, it's all governed by them. What's happened there with the camera? The camera's alright. Oh, just the screen's gone off. Wanted to just double check we hadn't turned off.
Especially during this.
Yeah, no, I don't. I'd have to explain it all again. Go on, quicker, wrap it up. I'm going to wrap it up. Quick. So so you've got the British Dance Council. From under the British Dance Council, you've then got teaching associations. So you've got the ISTD or the NATD or the BATD or the UKA or the IDTA, and there are others as well. The allied. There's many. So teaching associations. So those teaching associations have members, and you sign up to them, etc., etc. You've then also got professional bodies within the British Dance Council, like the BDF, which is the Ballroom Dancers Federation, or you've got the dancers, the BCDC, which is the British Competitors Dance Corporation. So these are other bodies that look after other aspects of the business, because we've got teaching, which is medal works and competitions and things, just for teaching, for social. You've then got competitive organisations like the DPA as well, the Dance Promoters Association, who manage the competitors, and they have members as well. And then you've got people like the British Dance, the BDF, the Ballroom Dancers Federation, who again look after dancers, but in a slightly different way. It is all quite complicated. Additionally, then globally, you've also got other things. You've got the WDSF, which is the World Dance Sport Federation, who are in charge of dancing throughout the world. They used to be called the IDSF, they're now the WDSF, and they have their own competitions and events, that sort of thing. And they have then got amateur bodies, subsidiaries that then govern and control countries. So the WDSF is the top one, and then they've got country ones. However, we've also got the WDC, which is the World Dance Council, who are in opposition to the WDSF, essentially. And then you've got now the WDO, which is another entity all of its own again. It's all very complicated. It's a bit like boxing, where you've got the WDC, WBO, the WBA.
World champion, and then the other world champion.
Yeah, you've got four belts. Champion. Yeah, so they've got the same thing a bit in dancing now. This has come about. It's a long story. It's difficult. It's very convoluted. So the IDSF, years ago, the International Dance Sport Federation, used to manage amateur events only. So just amateur events. And then the WDC, which was formerly the WD and DSC, World Dance and Dance Sport Council, but now it's just the WDC, World Dance Council, they managed professional competitions. So you had an amateur body and you had a professional body. And they worked in harmony together, which was fine. So people were working in the amateur, and then they progressed from that and they went to the WDC. However, about 15 years ago or so, I think, the WDSF changed its name to the WDSF, from IDSF, and then decided to start running professional competitions, have its own professional side of things, which I'm sure you can understand would have upset some people.
Caused a bit of an upset.
Caused a bit of friction. And then, so in retaliation, the WDC started doing amateur events. And then eventually you got to the point where you were either WDSF or you were WDC. So it created a divide in our business, in our industry. You had WDSF judges and you had WDC judges. And the idea was that the WDSF was going down the sport route, dance sports, to get more government funding essentially. It was Olympics. They were pushing for the Olympics. Now in many countries, England is, UK is not part of this, but dancing comes under dance sport, so they get sports funding, we don't come under sports funding in England. We actually, I spoke to Marcus the other day, who's the chairman of the British Dance Council. We don't fall under anything. We're on our own, completely separate. We don't get any funding from the Arts Council or the Sports Council. So we need that needs sorting out, actually. That needs sorting out. But in continental Europe and other parts of the world, dancing is thought of as a sport.
Yeah.
So it gets sport funding. Now they wanted, so the WDSF are obviously pushing for funding and that sort of thing. So they went down the dance sport route. And so anyway, so the idea of that is that if you were a WDSF dancer, you were more athletic and sporty, and they tried to introduce rules and regulations and ways of dancing to allow you to be judged by a system that was rather than it being subjective, it was based on technical merit and that sort of thing. A bit like gymnastics, a bit like ice dancing.
Ice dancing.
But it's very difficult to do that when everyone's dancing at the same time.
Do they have to do certain moves? And
Yeah, there was. Yeah, and I don't know if they still do it, but they were doing it where you had to dance solo and had to do certain things, certain figures, and that sort of thing. Well, I can understand to a certain degree, but yeah, went down a very treacherous route, and people became more sporty and athletic rather than artistic and musical, and the WDC then obviously tried to push the artistry and the music side of things, but it's all gone. It's all a bit of a mess. That created an opportunity for someone else to come along, and I mean, yeah, Margaret said she lost track. Yeah, what was Julian's question? Yeah, it's difficult. You do lose track. Yeah, you do lose track. When you're pushing for funding, when you're after money corrupts. And obviously there was a lot of corruption in the WDSF and in the WDO. So there was lots of people in it for themselves.
You
only.
mean the
in the what? What are you talking
not
about?
the WDO.
I didn't say WDO.
Yes, you did.
WDSF.
You said WDSF and
WDC.
WDC. You didn't say WDC.
Anyway,
Yeah.
WDSF, WDC. Basically,
there's been a lot of
corruption.
Not in the WDO.
Lot of people after thinking of themselves and just trying to line their own pockets. And so what that does is, of course, that opens up the opportunity for someone like the WDO to come along and try and
create a fairer, more transparent system
Yeah.
where people are not using it to benefit just themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
For the greater good.
Yes,
So we've now got 3 world governing bodies, because the WDO has recently now formed, it wasn't just a competition, it's now a proper, fully fledged organisation, of which we are members. So that's where we want to go, that's the route we want to take. So there we go, there's a very brief little history on all the acronyms. Are they called acronyms? Is it acronyms? I can't remember what they're
Yeah.
called.
Wow.
Yeah. They won't merge, Ros. No, there's no chance. The WDSF and the WDC will not merge. Hence why the WDO was formed. And so the idea really is the WDO will then just increase its membership and just get as many people and be as open and as transparent as possible so that everyone wants to join them rather than being part of something where they've got to line someone's pockets or be seen to be doing the right thing by someone else to get any success or any work. So, yeah, we want it to be open and transparent. Hence why the WDO started with competitions, because historically certain people always got given certain championships. So if you're always guaranteed a certain world title or world championships, let's say I run a competition and I'm always guaranteed the professional Latin American World Championships. Well, then I basically control who's the world champion, essentially. Because if I'm in charge of the comp, I'm in charge of the judges, I'm in charge of the organisation, I'm in charge of everything about it. I can just make it so that a certain person wins. It's very easy if it's always the same person that organises it, which is what's happened for a number of years. So whilst it's always committees and things that run these things, it's not really. Ultimately, someone's pulling the strings and in charge. At the Britannia, I was in charge. Simple as that. I said what goes. If I wanted this person judging and they could do it, I had them judging. But I mean, fortunately, I'd like to think I'm a good person and I'm a fair person, and so I tried to make it as fair and as balanced as possible. I could have easily orchestrated it for if I had a load of couples, of course, that I was teaching, and I really wanted my youth Latin couple to win the WDO World Championships. Well, I'd have made it so he did. They did. Would have done. If I was that way inclined, it's very easily done. You just get the right people to judge the comp, and they do. They win it. So
So anyway, the
There we go,
WDO is
yeah.
trying to do
do good. So
Good.
you can't hold the same championships for 2 years and that sort of thing. So we wouldn't be able to hold a youth Latin championships now until 2023.
yeah.
Yeah, because it's
So
all
basically,
skipped a
they're
year.
just trying to find ways to make everything fairer.
Yeah.
And better, well, more for the dancer. More for the dancer.
I'm sorry if I lost a load of you. I'm sorry, but it
Yeah.
is very complicated. And
I did tell you not really to wrap it up. didn't
I
I?
did, yeah, well, you told me to wrap it up pretty much as soon as I started speaking.
Yeah, I did.
If you want anyone to blame Julian, because I've actually explained that to him before.
He's obviously forgotten.
Clearly forgotten, or didn't understand it the first time. But it is difficult. Maybe I should try and do a video on that. I mean, I keep saying this. I should do a video on that.
Don't do a video on that.
No. Anyway.
No.
Anyone
Anyway.
got anything more simple? I got off of my soapbox there a bit as well, didn't I?
You did, yeah. Anyway, that's good. So that's something else. Dance related.
Yeah.
Where are
Anything?
they all?
I don't know. They're all very quiet, aren't they?
They're all fallen asleep, probably.
Show them the picture, Cal.
Oh no.
Go on, show them the
I
picture.
didn't really get that out to show them. I was going through some photographs. Yeah, you show them. 'Cause
Sarah
I'm not-
Ball says really useful, James. Thank you very much. I'm glad you
Oh,
made
at
you
least
found
someone-
some sense.
At least
in
someone
it,
found
in
it
what I said.
useful. That's good.
Heard some sense in it.
I was going through photos today, and I found this.
Basically, it's just to what they've done is just to try and avoid corruption. Just try and be, from the word go, be absolutely as transparent as possible, and that's really what everyone should be like, isn't it? Really.
That's what we want.
Well, and we want that in the world as well. We want
Mm.
transparency. None of
Yes.
this nonsense. None of don't give contracts to your mates and stuff like that for the sake of making money. Right. That's a picture. Hang on. Is it,
Blurry.
focus. Well, I can go close. I can focus it in. Hang on.
You can have a guess who that is.
Who's that?
Obviously.
No, I can't because it's on manual focus. I can't do it. It's set for us. You see, it can't. It
Mm.
won't be able to do it. But there you go. You can see that as a little picture of
Yeah.
Cal.
I was going through pictures today, and I found that, so I thought you might like to see that for a laugh. That was my first dress that was ever made. I think it was my first junior. It was my first junior competition. I'd done juvenile. Yeah, little lilac dress with my partner. Now my partner there, he was called Dean. Funny story. We used to have a lesson after school every day. We'd come straight in. He'd come in his shorts, put his dance shoes on, and he'd always have fish. Not fish, but chip shop chips. A packet of those before we started the lesson. And we only had a half-hour lesson. He'd literally be eating them right up to the last minute. Yes. So that's him. That's me. Yeah.
Lovely.
I look really young.
Were you a child?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was about 11.
Yeah.
About 11.
What do you want, bud? Oh dear, he wants his belly tickled, but it's me.
He loves you.
Right,
There we go.
Sarah Ball says, why do USA ladies who land in helicopters to the comps win? Maybe lots of practice. Well,
I
if...
didn't know they did.
Yeah, the same, I've seen it. Well, I've literally seen helicopters, but I know that sort of thing that happens. Well, put it this way. If you are landing at a competition in a helicopter, you are someone of wealth. You are therefore probably supporting the competition in some way or another, providing some sort of financial benefits to the comp, either by your number of entries or sponsoring the event. So the promoter is going to make sure that you do well. Basically, it's a return on your investment. Unfortunately, I can't bring myself to do that. I can't at all. So as much as we need people to help us with comps, either to support it or actually sponsorship, because we're always looking to help. These things need help to grow anyway. They need help. They need sponsorship. I couldn't possibly do it. I couldn't take someone's money and then knowing that I'd have to then help them to win a comp. That's just terrible. I hate the idea of it. So I'd rather make a loss than do that. I really would. Yeah. I can't do that for comps. But I mean, if someone wants to pay a load of money to do a performance, that's different. But if to win a competition just because they've paid more money than someone else, no, I can't tolerate that. But that's why that sort of thing happens. And unfortunately, again, it's open. These things are open to corruption. Everything's open to corruption, essentially, because most people will do anything for money.
Hmm.
There we go.
Ross said, "How old are you?" I think I was about 11. I think I said that. No, he wasn't that one. That one was much later. The crazy one. So yeah, I was going to dance with a fella who
Jiro. He was Japanese.
Yeah, he was Japanese, and he was going to move to Australia, but he didn't end up doing it because he got himself into a mental state that wasn't very good.
Yeah.
So he had to go and get help for that. Yeah, bless him. Will you start a petition to make dance a sport?
Absolutely not.
No, I don't
Absolutely
think
not.
so.
No, I don't think dance is a sport. It's an athletic pursuit. It's
a bit,
not sport.
I have this difficulty with dancing sometimes, and where I think that like competition in dance, as great as it can be, it is also not so good because it sort of dismisses people who are really good. So because it's a competition, we all think the one who wins is the be all and end all kind of thing, or the ones in the final, or perhaps in the top 12, depending on what level you're talking about. So I think a lot of dancers who are very artistic, very good, get sort of blindsided a lot because they're not in those top finals or whatever, or winning. So in some respects I think it's quite unfair that we portray what we do in a competition sense. In other ways I think it's really good, but in the negative side I sort of feel like perhaps what we do should be more about putting on shows and performances and things like that, which is I suppose why a lot of the dancers in the UK here then gravitated towards things like Strictly and doing that kind of work instead of competitions and going down that route, because it was probably a lot more rewarding as a dancer because you get to be creative and you get to be sort of credited for it, so to speak. Whereas in a competition, you don't get credited for it unless you get the result. So as much as you might still feel quite proud of yourself for whatever you achieve, but then in other respects, of course, a little bit of competition is good for everyone. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a hard one to kind of...
The world champion is only the world champion because the majority of the judges mark them first. Now, you've only got to get a group of people together and just say, right, we're going to do this. And then they can create a world champion. So it doesn't really matter how good someone is, really. It's just a collective decision. So, yeah.
So in some respects, I think
So it's
competition has its negative.
It does have its negativity.
And its positive, I suppose. There's obviously... Maybe there needs to be a bit more of a balance of both. Maybe as much as we have competitive events, there needs to also equally be more kind of performance-based events where everyone gets seen, so to speak. And that would be very difficult on a big scale, but, you sort of get where I'm coming from, don't you? Where dancers get to be appreciated more.
Yeah.
I don't know how to...
It's a difficult one. The good thing is, though, of course, what we do transcends so many. It's genres within genres, because you've got competitive dancing, you've got medal tests, you've got cabaret performances, you've got dance shows on like all the ones that the Strictly guys do. They put on these performances. You've got Strictly itself. It's so many. There's so many things, so many avenues that you can get involved with, and you've just got social dancing as well. But which is great, really.
You say that about the TV like Strictly and stuff, but there's only very few dancers that are actually doing it. There's not a lot.
No, I mean as in to enjoy.
To enjoy.
Yeah, to enjoy, not necessarily to take part in.
Oh, I was talking about
just to enjoy. But there, as a young competitive dancer, you have those choices, really, don't you?
Oh yeah, well I think obviously medal tests are really good for anyone starting out. They're really good.
I mean, Margaret's not going to get on Strictly just yet.
Shut up. Medal tests are really good for anyone starting out, or for children and things like that. It gives them, something to work towards. And the thing about a test like that is you either pass or you can push yourself to get highly commended or whatever. So it's kind of like a competition with yourself, which is obviously very good.
Yep.
So that
providing, of course, that the structure and that the person who's examining you is basing it on certain criteria, set criteria that you've worked on, which is one of the other problems that we've had.
Well, we changed the way we do medal tests, didn't we?
And I set the criteria so that I teach people, and then we know exactly what they're going to be assessed on.
What they're working towards.
Because I tell the examiner, this is what we've got to assess. Yeah. I should just run the show. Really, shouldn't I? I should run the show. Yeah. Ray says, last week, talking of inspiration to learn to dance, mine came from watching the non-dancing male celebs giving it a go on Strictly. Is that good or bad?
I think
Hope
that's
that does
good.
not put you off. No, that's perfect.
I think it's really good.
That's really what it. That's doing its job. That's Strictly doing the job it should be doing. Is encouraging people to get out and dance that wouldn't normally.
Yeah.
And seeing someone like Colin Jackson. I don't know why he sprung to mind. Can't think of anyone else.
Billy, what's his name?
Billy Connolly.
No.
Billy Elliot.
No, the one that was in the last one.
I don't know. Oh, you're thinking of Bill Bailey.
Bill Bailey, that's the
Yeah,
one.
someone like Bill Bailey. Yeah. Someone
He
like Bill
seems
Bailey.
really unlikely, doesn't he?
You would never think about it, would
Yeah.
you? Yeah.
No, I think it's
I think it's brilliant.
That's
for that.
really good, and
For that, it's brilliant.
I think what that shows is that anyone can take part.
Yes.
You know, yes, you have to manage expectations. Not everyone can be the most amazing dancer in the world, but everyone can take part and get something out of it. And the thing about dancing, it just teaches you so much about yourself, you know, because it tests your patience. You know, there's discipline. It's really good for you for mental health and the physical as well, of course. But you know, I think it tests your mental health more than anything.
I really think that most people, some people are a bit too dismissive of ballroom and Latin American dancing too early on, really, and they need to give it a go because it really is. It doesn't have to be ballroom or Latin dancing. Any kind of dance, really, that is structured, that has some sort of pattern to it, where you've got to remember things and then physically do those steps. It's so good for the body. It's so good for you. So, and it's been proved to be so good for you. So, people should do it. More people should do it. I mean, obviously, I'm going to say that because I'm a dance teacher, but more people should do it. So tell your
but
friends.
we know how good it is when you get lots of people together to dance.
The energy's tremendous.
Yeah, I mean,
the energy,
when we did
the energy, the
comp,
vibration of that is
the
good.
comp, I mean, people who weren't dancers were because we got other people involved who weren't dancers. They've never seen it before. They didn't really know what it was all about, but they were there just to see, and they were coming up and they're saying how amazing it was.
Well, we had a table full of
the energy that they felt, and I was like, yeah, this is what dancing is.
Yeah. My mechanic brought a table, and so you had young guys on the table all dressed up, and they loved it, absolutely loved it. And you go into when I take my car in to get fixed, and you see these guys in their greasy overalls. You'd never think in a million years they'd be keen to watch that sort of thing, or actually enjoy watching that sort of thing. Yeah. And they loved it. They couldn't wait. They were meant to come again. Obviously, they said, right, book us in next time. We definitely want to come.
Yeah.
Great night, loved it. So.
And that's what, with the competition side of things, we've always wanted to get more spectators in. So it doesn't matter if you're not really involved in dancing. We know that a lot of people actually enjoy it, and I think Strictly shows you that.
Yes.
Doesn't it? Like Ray said, it's inspired people to
get out there and
get out and have a go.
When I used to compete in Europe as a youngster, as a late teens, early 20s, I'd be invited to go and do comps in, I don't know, Austria or France and Germany and that sort of thing. And you turn up and basically there's people having a dinner, and then your competition is the entertainment. And people loved it. They went down so well. So looking back on it, that's how they could afford to fly couples in from different parts of Europe to perform in these comps, because they had all these people come in. We're talking hundreds of people come in to watch a comp, and it was. And I remember vividly walking from my hotel. I had the morning off or something before the comp, and there's adverts, placards everywhere, advertising the dance comp in the streets. So, and there were billboards and stuff. So it was a big thing. People wanted to go and see it as an entertainment, a night of entertainment. That's not something you get here very much.
But that's something that
that's what we want to do. Actually,
that's what we want our comps.
And this is pre-Strictly.
Yeah.
This is way before Strictly, of course.
We want our comps to be like that, don't we? Because like the reaction from people is exactly what we wanted, and it is all about bringing loads of people together. That creates that energy. You can't do it to an empty room. It's just not the same, is it?
That's why we have to make sure that there's no restrictions. Right, something different from that is the Pan American, which I think you mean the Pan Pacific in the film and actual comp. So I'm thinking you're talking about Strictly Ballroom. Is the Pan Pacific an actual comp? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it was at least. I don't know if it's still going. I don't really know much.
It definitely was back then, anyway.
Yeah, the Pan Pacific.
Yeah, Pan Pacific. Yeah, Pan Pacific Grand Prix.
Might have been called something else, but it's yeah. What was that question? I saw something.
Well, Peter and Sylvia said they practice and practice and practice at home, but in the last 2 weeks they've run out of steam.
Oh.
So roll on face-to-face lessons again.
Yeah,
It's
can totally understand that.
doing it
Sylvia and
at
Peter.
home is
Yeah.
so different to doing it in the studio because yes, it services a need. You know, you can still do stuff at home, but it's not the same as being in a studio with other people doing the same thing. There's a lot to be said for that energy,
Yeah.
that positive energy that you
yeah.
get in a studio.
You got to remember, it's, you know, I mean, we know from doing different types of practice. So sometimes we'd have to practice on our own in a room and force ourselves to dance and stuff. And it was really hard sometimes, wasn't it? Because you go in sometimes, obviously, we did some things really early in the morning once and stuff like that.
Yeah. But
Or
we
really
would.
late
It's different
at
for
night.
us because we
No,
have to
just
perform.
using this for an example.
Okay.
And yeah, you've got to try and motivate yourself. I really don't want to do this. We've got to try and dancing to an empty room. It's you've got to create the energy in yourself. Then equally, when you go to a practice, like when we've been to some of the practices with other like peers of ours, the energy is really good and it motivates you, makes you want to do it more. In our sense, it was a little bit competitive, but even so, it's just nice to be on the floor with other dancers and it kind of like pushes you a little bit more. So
It does. It's like a collective.
Yeah. We feed off of energy, don't we, at the end of the day?
Positive or negative. So if you're surrounded by positive stuff, then it makes a big difference.
Yeah, so we can appreciate that you might have lost your steam, but stick it out maybe. If you just do 10 minutes just to keep things ticking over, and then you won't feel guilty or whatever, because we can make ourselves feel guilty about these things, can't we, about not practicing or whatever. But if you just maybe do 10 minutes every now and then, just keep it ticking over, and then hopefully we'll all be seeing each other in the flesh.
We do plan to do medal tests again as well, so I want to try and get those back on to our agenda sooner rather than later.
Yes, because we have a few people that
well, some people are still waiting to take their test still,
take some
so
for a long time now.
Yeah, I mean, and if you've never done a medal test, don't be put off by it. It's a great way to assess your own development and to find out where you're at and actually just give you something to aim for.
It gives you a little bit of a goal. So
So that's what we're going to plan to do soon as well. We had another question. Ju says, another question from Julian. Yeah. Because of the close connection, do you consider ballroom more difficult to do than Latin? Ballroom is ballroom is harder.
We'd say yes. Yeah.
Ballroom is harder to start with. So ballroom is definitely harder at the beginning. Well, everything's easy at the beginning. Well, everything's hard at the beginning, actually.
You're
Well, I know. But the thing is, when you first rock up to a dance studio, you're just plonking your feet anywhere. It's either you can either kind of do it or you kind of can't. So it's either going to be kind of difficult or kind of straightforward. As you learn more, things become a little harder. Then it gets a little easier, and then it gets harder again, and then it gets easier. It's always doing this.
When you're learning to dance, it's like this. Sometimes it goes like this.
But generally speaking, ballroom dancing is harder because your two bodies moving as one in complete harmony, using each other's body weights, and you're connected much more so than you would be in Latin. A lot of the more advanced figures in Latin, and if you look at competitors, advanced competitors, they dance apart. So they've got a very small, limited amount of connection. They've got a bit of, they're connected with their eyes and that sort of thing, or body connection. Sorry, not body connection. Physical connection, but not physically touching. It's the same thing, isn't it? Body and physical. Anyway, you get the idea. But they're not. You've not got someone in your arms. It's different. Latin's got different skills. It's a different skill set for Latin than it is for ballroom. But ballroom's harder for sure. Good ballroom dancers. Good ballroom dancing is harder to achieve than good Latin dancing.
I think as well it's easier to make Latin look better. So ballroom is a little bit harder to make look good in the early days, because you're stuck to someone. So it takes a little bit longer to iron out the creases, so to speak. Whereas in Latin, I think you're very much in charge of yourself, so it's easier to make that look
Absolutely
better,
right.
sort of slightly quicker.
I see it a lot actually in Latin, especially with younger dancers and less experienced ones. It's very apparent very early on whether if there's one dancer that's weaker than the other, because when you're stood there on your own, naked so to speak, not literally, and your partner's on the end of your arm, it's very quick to see if that partner on the end of your arm is really good or really bad, because you can't influence them and they can't influence you. So in ballroom, of course, if you've got a strong male dancer and the woman's inside his arm, you can't necessarily tell how weak or strong they are. Likewise, if you've got a weak male and a strong lady, you can't really tell who's strong, who's weak, who's the positive or the negative in the partnership, because they're connected as one, you see. But in Latin, it's very clear. It's very easy. So I've seen it happen. You get these girls that are really young and really, really good, dancing with a not such good, or let's say less mature male. They split from them, and they dance with someone maybe 10 years older, and suddenly they're in the professional final.
Yeah.
Because that doesn't happen with the man, of course, because he's not quite physically mature enough. But some of the times, the younger ladies who are exceptional get whisked off into
move up a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and that doesn't happen as much in the ballroom.
Well, women tend to mature quicker than men, don't they? So.
Yeah. But also, a man's strength doesn't come until he's older.
That's what I mean.
His body doesn't physically strengthen massively until he's older.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really happen that way. It happens the other way, typically. More so in Latin than in ballroom, definitely. Yeah, Ray had a question, and it was about tap dancing.
Tap dancing.
I'm not quite sure what you mean, Ray, but you say, wondering why tap dancing does not seem to be accepted as part of the structure as is ballroom and Latin, as it looks a lot of fun. Now, tap dancing is with ballet dancing, and it's still it's under the Arts Council, so that is recognised. But tap dancing is not part of the British Dance Council, so the British Dance Council don't have anything to do with tap dancing. However, this is where it gets complicated. We're back to these things. It gets complicated. Someone like the I've been talking to Vincent too much. Someone like the ISTD or the IDTA have. I think they have tap in their society.
Okay.
So it gets complicated. And they've got ballet as well, so it gets complicated.
Well, the ISTD does, don't they?
The ISTD's definitely got a ballet section, but I
Which they
think,
have ballet and tap and all that stuff.
I think that is separate.
It is separate.
It's included but separate. It's complicated. It's complicated.
Yeah, but I think, ballet, tap, all that, it is quite...
contemporary dance, that's what
structured as well, isn't it?
Mm.
But they don't do... Well, do they do competitions in tap? I suppose they do.
They must do, yeah. Well, they do assessments, of course. But I don't know if they do competitions as such. I don't think it's as prevalent as it would be in ballroom dancing.
It's more like the people who do that sort of dancing tend to want to move into the arts more, don't they? So they tend to want to do
and they're assessed and they go to grade 1, except they go to the grades, don't they?
Yeah.
And it's always used then for the stage, isn't it?
Yeah, typically.
Yeah. Question. In Pro-Am, lots of questions coming tonight, which is good, see. In Pro-Am and teacher-student, do the judges judge the couple or the amateur? So, in teacher-student or student-teacher competitions, the student is judged only. So that is essentially a competitive medal test. So in a medal test, so those of you that have done a medal test and danced with your teacher, you're the one that's being assessed. Your teacher's not being assessed, unlike that time I was assessed, which is when we caused merry hell about it. And that's one of the reasons why we changed from what we did to what we do now. So it's only the student that's judged. Now, when you do Pro-Am, or Am Pro as it should be called, actually, we're trying to get our heads around calling it Am Pro. It changes, it varies. Now, in America, they have a system where in what they call scholarship, they call it scholarship, it's essentially the championship, the couple is assessed. Both of them are assessed as a couple. It's like a normal competition. But all of the other events, like the single dances, the multi-dance events, it should be just the student. However, it is up to the organisers' discretion whether or not they have the Pro-Am or Am Pro events judged, all of them as couples. So when we did the Britannia, I instructed the judges and the chairman to assess the students only. So it was just the students, it wasn't the professionals. But in teacher-student and student-teacher events, it's always the student and student only. I hope that answers your question. Was that quite succinct?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Sylvia
tap dancing with the ISDT.
Or IS...
Do you mean ISTD or the IDTA? Because the ISTD is International Society for... what I was going to say. I'll have to type it.
Oh. You're terrible.
I know.
You've done that on the group, have you?
No, I've done that in the group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I did tap dancing as well, but I didn't do any exams in it. Yeah.
You did ballet. And
Yeah, I did. I did ballet and tap and a bit of jazz dancing as well. Yeah.
bless.
ISTD. Yeah, the ISTD.
ISTD,
yeah, I
yeah.
did. I didn't do any exams though, but I think she was ISTD, my teacher. Ray can't do ballet because he can't find a tutu to fit. Don't worry, Ray. I've got someone that can make one for you. So don't worry about that. Hold that thought, and I'll get someone to make one. All right.
It's just the tights that you've got to sort out. Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh no way, Peter! I can't send it to. I typed it on the screen in a notepad. Anyway, I can't possibly put that in a group chat. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
dear. You're being censored. You're censoring yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, Margaret says she got her ISTD tap medalled up to grade 6.
Well, well done.
Yeah. Was that before or after?
We've seen Margaret do a bit of tap dancing.
Was that
haven't we?
before or after you checked the structure of the steps
Or stop
to the
it.
timing with your teacher? I don't know. I'm just checking.
Stop pointing.
I'm just checking. There you go. Silent. When I stop talking, it goes very quiet.
Yeah, I'm getting tired.
Oh, yeah.
I had a sleep this afternoon.
I know. You look excited when you say that.
I know, but
Why are you excited? I had to sleep this afternoon.
it's because.
Why do you get excited about that?
Because I don't sleep very well.
Well, then you need to. I've got something for you for that then.
What?
It arrived today in the post.
What?
It's helped actually.
Oh, I had some.
Yeah, I had some.
Yeah,
Oh, there you go then.
yeah, maybe that's why I feel sleepy.
Don't
Anyway.
matter.
Yeah, no, I get really excited when I have a nap.
Yeah.
So I always tend to sleep better when I have a nap.
Julian is not allowed to tap dance.
He wants to tap dance.
He's
now.
not allowed to tap dance. Yeah. In medal test after gold, is it star or bar, and how many levels Jews on a roll tonight? It depends on the association. They have their own structures and they change things. It's different. It depends. With our exams, I can't remember what I did.
We've got it written down.
I've got it written down somewhere. I can't remember the structure
Didn't
that I
we
came
do
up with.
Emerald.
Yeah, we did. Diamond.
Emerald, diamond, ruby, or emerald, ruby, diamond, or
I can't
something
remember
like
something like that. Yeah,
Mm.
something like that. Yeah.
It's just another name for it.
Just another
basically.
name. It's just yeah.
Yeah.
And you could in
They
the
usually do like star 1, 2, 3.
Yes, they
and-
did, yeah,
Or
yeah,
bar
yeah.
1, 2, 3.
yeah. I did as a child. I did IDTA medals, and so you've got bronze, silver, gold, and then you had gold bar 1, 2, and 3. Then you had star 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 5. Then you had President's Award 1, 2, and 3. That's when I finished. There were some more. I think International Award. I think they called it, and then they do an annual award to just keep you going. Basically, you can keep taking exams every year because, of course, that's it's a way to make money. Really, that's what it's all about. So we don't do it for monetary gain. Of course, it is a profit thing for us. Of course, everything we do has to be that way to a certain degree. But the idea really is for those people that want to push themselves and progress. It's for you. It's giving you that outlet.
Yeah, and I think it just gives you a goal.
Yeah.
It's a vessel in which to push yourself, isn't it? Sometimes when you just dance for enjoyment, it's different at the beginning, I think, because kind of your goals become coming to the Easter dance or coming to the Christmas dance and being able to get out on the floor and manage yourself around the floor, isn't it? Once you've kind of accomplished that and you feel confident enough, some people then want a little bit more, don't they? So doing medal tests is a good way to give you that outlet.
No, I didn't, Diane. I did IDTA. I think I made that clear. I did IDTA, not ISDT. Yeah. Anyway. Peter, yes, that would be nice if Margaret and Sylvia can put on a little tap dancing demo. That'd be good. Sort it out.
Go on then.
You go away and sort it out. Then we'll put it on when we are allowed to have our event at Fareham. Which, as soon as we are able, if the comp goes ahead, we'll be able to do a social dance, which we will do, and it will be free. We'll have a free social dance at Fareham. There may be buckets on display, But it will be free to turn up and take part. You don't have to put anything. You put a couple of 5 pences in if you want. But more than likely, yeah, we'll do a free social dance to get everyone back dancing and in a social environment again.
Yeah.
Don't expect any shows though or cabarets. Not from us anyway, because we won't have practiced.
No, we need a bit of time.
Yeah, I need at least 6
We have
months.
a bit of a load to shed.
We do.
Nice way of putting it. Shed.
Yeah.
Shred.
Shred.
We need to shred.
Yeah.
Wait.
Russell Jennings is watching now. I wonder if
Hello,
he'll make a
Russell.
comment. I wonder if he'll say anything.
We did once have some of our pupils put on little performances and stuff.
We did, yeah. That's when Margaret did her little thing.
Yeah.
That was all right, wasn't it? More people were going to do it, then it pulled out, unfortunately.
Yeah. But that's something we could do.
But
again,
I'd love to do it again. Yeah, it was an open mic night, wasn't it? Open mic dance night.
basically open mic nights where you guys put on the
Showcase
shows.
your talents.
And
Could have been anything.
I think so. Basically, we did it as a bit of a social dance, and
We
then
did.
broke it up with everyone doing. Well, not everyone. Those that wanted to.
Yeah.
Doing their little showpiece.
Yeah, it was
So that's
sweet,
something we
wasn't
could
it?
do again if you're interested.
I think Margaret wore a belt, didn't she, with some tassels on it, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was a belt with
There wasn't
tassels.
much. Yeah.
There's nothing else really.
She had the raincoat on.
Yeah. So you went all the way to New York, Sarah Ball, to do a comp, and then they pulled the comp when you got there.
Oh no.
That's harsh, isn't it? It's a long way to go. At least it's New York, though. Yeah.
Oh, that would be gutting though.
Yeah. I'm sure you were dancing something else as well, though, not just the Caribbean mix. They have all sorts of interesting comps in America as well. So they have ballroom Latin, American smooth, American rhythm, and then they have a whole host of other things as well. So yeah, they really do milk it, so to speak. But of course, they've got a lot of influence over there from the Central American countries and South American countries. And there's way more than 10 dances, of course, that you can do. And in America, they do competitions in almost all of them. So, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, I know it's crazy. It's just options, isn't it? But I mean, as a teacher, that's too much to learn for me.
Yeah. They cancelled the category at the last minute. Oh.
It's a shame, isn't it? Well, we won't be doing that at any of our competitions.
No.
Don't worry. So it won't be
That's
last
really
minute.
silly. I mean, at the end of the day, if let's say you've got a competition with only one entry, you just run it anyway, don't you?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Let them get out there and dance.
Did you get your money back, or did you still have to pay for it? Or did they give you a comp credit for the following year or something?
Comp credit.
Yeah.
I can't think of any reason why you would need to cancel it like that, unless. No.
Well, there are scheduling.
Well, yeah,
scheduling
but
issues,
even
of course,
so.
but yeah.
Even so.
Russell didn't comment. He watched, but he hasn't commented, has he? Yeah.
Russell wants to play music for us whilst we dance.
I'd love him to do that.
I said, well, go on.
Yeah, I'd love him to
let's
do
do it.
Ah, you got a
You
credit.
got
There you
credit.
go. Yeah. Not cash though. Didn't get cash back in your bank. They gave you a credit. Yeah, that's off. Well, that won't be happening to us, or with us even.
Yeah, no, don't think that's right at all.
No, I think it's a bit off. Yeah. Well, that's true. All the practicing was wasted, of course. Yeah, of course, all the lessons and practice you would have put into it. Absolutely. Who was that you were dancing with? Don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but I can't think that would have been Sydney. Must have been another exotic dancing teacher of yours.
It is gutting. Well, I mean, when things get cancelled and stuff, isn't it? It's...
Yeah.
We had it, didn't we? We went to Zagreb.
Yeah.
And it was the whole comp was cancelled.
Yeah.
We
We were packing our suitcase because we had a very early flight. Out. Let's say on a Friday morning. Let's say Thursday morning. So Wednesday night we're packing the suitcase, getting stuff ready. So the suitcases are done before we fly out Thursday morning. I phoned the organiser to say, oh, do I need a tux for anything? Because are there any gala nights with black tie? I just wasn't sure. And they said, no, we've cancelled the comp. It's not running now. The night before we were going.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrific.
Yeah. And obviously all the flights and stuff were non-refundable,
Yeah.
weren't they, I think. So we had to go anyway.
We went anyway.
So we just had all these days in Zagreb, kind of.
Yeah, and then got given a horrific hotel room. That was awful. Yeah, it wasn't great. It was they had a.
It was just before Christmas.
Yeah, they had a
right.
Christmas market as well, which for
Was
3
quite
years previous
disappointing.
had been voted the best Christmas market in Europe.
This was really disappointing.
And the one in Southampton's better.
Yeah.
Well, was better. It was so disappointing. It was bitterly cold.
It was a real shame.
There was no snow, but it was freezing cold. It was really horrible.
We had
cold,
Ella
wasn't
with us as well. She was bored, bless her.
it? Yeah, really bored.
Mm.
And
And we struggled to find places to eat.
we did, yeah, obviously, yeah. And many places in Croatia, you can still smoke inside as well. So we'd find this really lovely little place, and you'd go inside, and everyone's smoking.
Yeah, which made it difficult for us.
Difficult, tricky.
Mm.
So it wasn't great, was it?
No.
It wasn't great.
It was a shame. There were some things I liked about it, but on the whole, it was not
wasn't
great. Not the greatest of experiences.
I'm sure Zagreb is a lovely place if you go to the right places. But I don't think we went to the right places, did we?
I don't think we really knew what to do.
No, we didn't, did we?
So.
No. We're supposed to be there for a comp.
Well, we didn't look into anything beforehand because, we were going to be busy doing a comp, weren't we?
Yeah.
We were supposed to have perhaps a day just to look at the Christmas market, which is why we went with Ella. And, yeah.
When you competed, where were the worst hotel rooms? As for Kelly and I, we never really had any bad experiences other than the first Blackpool.
That was a bit of a shock to me because that was the first time I'd ever been to Blackpool.
But I knew what to expect.
Yeah.
I knew there would.
Yeah.
I knew it was a
Our
dive.
room was freezing.
Yeah.
The shower didn't work.
No.
And I had a little tiny mirror to do my hair and makeup in
Yeah.
for the comp, and I had to sit on the bed, and we had all our suitcases on the bed the room was so tiny.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
And
It wasn't
was
great.
freezing most
We
of
didn't
the
stay
time.
there again, did we?
No.
We tried to find somewhere else. So they're not great, but that's kind of what
Another
you expect.
room that we had that we got given just stunk of cigarettes. It was disgusting.
Oh, no, that was when we went to the other place down the road, didn't we?
Yeah.
We stayed in a little apartment.
And they moved us because we complained about the smell of the room.
Yeah.
It's one of those sort of places where it was in the walls and in the ceiling, and it was just, it wouldn't matter how clean it was still going to smell.
That was the room that had a kitchen inside. It was a kitchen inside the building, if that makes sense, with no window.
I had no. Yeah, it was awful. It was
Horrific.
So
It was slime.
So
Oh, it
they
was
moved us to another
awful.
room, which was
Better, but it was freezing still.
better, but it was like
And damp.
it was partially finished. It wasn't.
Yeah, it was awful.
They were supposedly refabbing it. I don't think they were.
That was knocked down. That building
Yeah.
was knocked down, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Knocked the building
Yeah.
down. It was a lovely old building, but it was awful.
Yeah, that was
Awful.
pretty
So
bad.
we've had some bad experiences there, but you kind of expect that in Blackpool. You know that when you go for the comp, that's the
But
point.
anyway,
Internationally, though, everything was great.
yeah.
We were very lucky.
The worst experience though was when we went to China,
Yes.
and that wasn't when we were doing competitions. We just went to teach,
Yeah.
and that where we stayed initially was I
The
can't-
hotel or the actual school?
the school.
Yeah, the school wasn't great, was
That
it?
was awful.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to describe it to you how awful it was. But we were we had 2 beds, didn't we? But we had to sleep together because we were so cold.
Yeah.
In one single bed.
Yes.
In sheets that were dirty,
Yeah.
not cleaned
Yeah.
at all. It was pretty dire, and
Yeah.
everything in the bathroom and everything was not clean.
Mm.
And it was just dusty and dirty and smelt.
When we first got there, we had one night there, didn't we? Then
Yeah,
they moved
and then
us
they moved us to this lovely sort of caravan type park.
next door, which was fab.
Beautiful, yeah.
Fab,
It was
wasn't
so
it?
lovely. And then they said, "Oh, sorry, you've got to go out here, and then you've got to go to a hotel."
Well, I refused for her because Kelly was pregnant with Ella at the time. So I refused. I said she's not going back into the school. Sleeping there it's freezing, dirty. No, we're not going there. We're not going there at all.
And
So
we really wanted to stay in
I
this
wanted to stay in the
caravan
caravan
park,
park. It
but
was
for some
lovely.
reason or another, they said, "No, you can't stay
Can't
there
stay
anymore."
Well, actually, they opened it for us, didn't they?
Yeah,
They opened it for us.
because
And
it was in
we,
off season.
we had we were there doing we were doing some teaching and some shows, and we took out 3 other couples as well to do the big gala show as well. So they opened it for the 4 couples. We each had a little bungalow caravan thing each. Really lovely,
Really
delightful,
nice, yeah.
really lovely. And so once they went and it was just us left, then they said no, you can't stay here. So they moved us to a hotel up the road.
But it was
And they gave me a
disgusting.
car to drive backwards and forwards to the school, and it was horrible, wasn't it? Stunk.
Again, because in China they can smoke indoors everywhere, and this hotel room was just again, it was just in the walls and the furniture, everything.
And we were there for Christmas
Yeah, we had
as
Christmas
well.
there.
Wonderful.
Mm.
Yeah, we should have gone home. We should have
Yeah,
left.
we did try, didn't we?
Well, we had the option to, and they said no, please stay, and we'll take you to Changchun, and you'll do some more work and
I wish
stuff.
we'd still come home.
And that was horrible as well. That hotel wasn't very great. Wasn't great, was it? But it was minus 30 odd.
Well, it was nearly minus 30 when we stayed there.
So we went down for breakfast, and I said, "Well, no, we'll go to this room for the breakfast because they had a picture up, like a roller banner of eggs and
what
bacon.
Looked like a
Normal breakfast.
And
Get
there was
there.
none of that
None
at
of
all.
that. It was just Chinese food,
Yeah.
but not the Chinese food you get at the takeaway. Things that you just probably you don't know what it is.
Mm.
You really don't know what it
It
is.
wasn't a good experience.
No, it was a really poor experience.
There was a couple of really nice places they took us for meals and stuff, but they were.
Our Christmas dinner was quite nice. We went to a Japanese
Yeah, that was a
restaurant.
Japanese restaurant,
in
and then
Beijing.
there was a couple of places. You know where they do the hot pots?
Oh, they were good.
They were nice.
Yeah.
That was all quite lovely. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And the duck was good. We had proper
Peking duck.
Peking duck.
Pecking.
Pecking. Yeah.
Pecking.
He wasn't pecking very much.
No.
No, he was. Yeah.
He'd been pecked.
Yes.
But that one with the restaurant that we went at, the back room, that was pretty gross.
Yeah.
Do you not remember that?
Oh yeah, we had a private room in this local little cafe
It's
restaurant.
the back room.
Oh.
The private room.
Well, to be honest,
Probably where the staff eat.
the restaurant itself was a dive. People,
was
the floor
awful.
was dirty. People were
Again,
spitting on
everyone
the
was
floor and stuff.
smoking inside.
I have to say,
Mm.
well, that's back when we ate meat. Obviously,
Yes.
the food was really, really delicious. It was really delicious, but
Well, we ate it because we didn't really have a choice.
we went
did
through
we?
the kitchen, didn't we, to get to this other room, and the kitchen was disgusting. Disgusting.
Really busy though, wasn't it?
Oh,
Really busy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there we go.
Everything was dirty. You just, when you're sort of place where you feel like everything that you touch, the floor, the
Yeah.
tables, the walls, everything's just dirty.
It was unpleasant.
Yeah.
It was unpleasant.
Of course, I was pregnant at the time. I was about
You were 2.5 months pregnant.
6 to 8 weeks pregnant when we went, and
Mm-hmm.
at that time, everything, all the smells and stuff were becoming very, very strong. So my memory of it's probably a little bit more turned off, I think,
Yeah.
because of that. Yeah.
It wasn't quite the Ritz-Carlton in Osaka, was
Oh, that was amazing. Get me back there in a heartbeat.
it? Yeah. We did a tour of Japan, and we stayed in some. Well, all the hotels were great, but the best one was the Ritz-Carlton, obviously.
Ritz-Carlton, yeah.
Yeah, in Osaka.
In Osaka.
2 nights in the
Most
Ritz-Carlton.
amazing breakfast ever.
£2,500 a night.
Yeah. But the room was just,
Yeah.
we were so comfortable. And
Mental.
we got to stay there for 3 days.
Was it 3 days?
Yeah.
3 nights.
Remember, we had 3 days off. So you do this tour, and basically, you move to a hotel, you dance. You move to a hotel the next day, you dance, and then you go to another hotel the next day, and you dance.
That's right. We had.
But
Yeah,
this
that's
one,
why
we
Victor was so looking forward to it, because he knew the days off were in the Ritz-Carlton.
Yeah. And we had 3 days
Yeah.
there. It was amazing. We got to go to the pool, and we just
Yeah.
chilled out with some friends of ours in the hotel room, and
Which
obviously it had all the electric blinds and stuff, and massive big marble double bathroom with
Yeah,
crystal
and
stuff.
my favourite bit was the Japanese toilet.
Oh, you love the Japanese
Oh, I
toilets.
love Japanese
too.
toilets. They're fabulous. Heated
They
seats,
have
the
those
lot.
little. They have the things on the side with the privacy sounds, so
Yeah.
it plays like running water. So, like if you're in a public toilet, people can't
Yeah.
hear you going to the toilet.
It was great.
and stuff.
Great.
It's funny,
Yeah.
but there were other things that we'll spare you the details.
Something else that I just remembered actually about toilets when we were in China, when I was in Beijing, was that there were signs up telling people not to stand on the toilets and squat.
Oh yeah.
Because
yeah.
a lot of people are used to obviously squatting into a hole in China, but when there's Western toilets, there were signs up of like a cross over someone bent over, squatting over stood on the toilet seat. Yeah, marvelous, eh? Marvelous. We're
Interesting.
losing viewers, Kel. We're losing viewers.
Oh,
We probably
yeah.
should cut this.
Have you had
short
enough
now.
of us talking?
Well,
about
there's
all
one
that?
more question that bloody Julian's asked again. Obviously, is there a particular nation that produces the best ballroom dancers? Well, obviously it's England, and they've already produced it. Really. In addition to that, no, there isn't. I wouldn't say there is one particular nation. It's a numbers game.
I think now it's quite varied.
It's pretty varied, really. You get
I
a good dance all over the place.
USA is quite strong now, isn't it?
They're not from the USA though.
No, the dancers themselves
they're
are often.
they're not indigenous.
Yeah.
They're either Italian or Russian or Eastern European descent.
They've moved there, obviously, and then represent.
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think there's any one particular.
I wouldn't say so. No. In the youth category at the moment, Ukraine is producing loads of great kids at the moment. I just think that's just a bit of a thing at the moment. We used to produce all the best dancers in England, but that's because we had all the best teachers at that time. But I mean, it's different. It's a different time now. Margaret says she knows the feeling when she was in Gibraltar. Gibraltar is not the back streets of Beijing. But I do understand what you mean by the smells.
She's talking about the smells and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Gibraltar, yeah, back streets of Beijing, Gibraltar, it is not.
Yeah, it was quite something.
Quite eye-opening.
I mean, I suppose at the end of the day, we had that experience. I'm quite grateful for it because it's made me appreciate what we have here, where we live here, where I've come from in Australia and things like that. You realise just how good we have it, really. Whether you've got a little or a lot, we've got a really good comparison. Yeah. Because what we saw of like little kids and stuff, it's just heartbreaking, really, the way people live. So. Well,
I've seen more of that in Nigeria, actually.
Yeah.
When you go off on a speedboat outside of the marina of the where I was, can't remember where I was now. Anyway, in Nigeria. The second biggest, not the capital, the second biggest, the one, Lagos. There you go, Lagos. And you go on the speedboat off to one of these. There's like a long peninsula, and you go down this, and it's like rainforest. And then you stop, and there's people in mud huts, living in mud huts. Yeah.
But you said they seemed happy.
They did seem very happy. Yeah, and you give them a few notes, and they're delighted.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of this is this beautiful, fine white sand beach with literally millions of dollars of homes. But on the other side of this, I suppose it's 500 yards wide or something like that. This like little bit of foresty rainforest. The other side is mud huts. The other side is $1 million homes. Mental.
It's crazy, isn't
Mental. And they literally are living in mud huts.
Yeah.
It's crazy. With nothing. And they seem really happy.
There you go. There's a lot to be said for that.
I know.
Yeah.
A lot to be said for that.
But then there's a lot that's not really fair with that as well, isn't it? So.
Yes. There's a lot of these countries are like that. They've got vast swathes of the population that are in poverty,
divides,
and then people who are insanely wealthy. Insanely wealthy that will never, ever, ever spend anything near what they've got. So why don't they just go and help all the people that haven't got anything? It's just mental. Or just set up infrastructure so they can help themselves. That's what people want. They want to help themselves. Yeah. They want handouts. Yeah. There's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for poverty or hunger or anything like that in Africa. None of it. No excuse for it. So we haven't had my dinner yet. Now I'm on the soapbox now. Where's all the money gone from Live Aid anyway? Live Aid and Comet Relief. Where's it all gone? Why do you keep need to do it? It's mental. It's corruption. See all this bloody corruption. If I had, honestly, benevolent dictator.
You reckon you'd be the one?
Benevolent, malevolent. Benevolent.
No, malevolence bad.
Yeah. Benevolent dictator.
Be careful.
I'd sort it all out. I'd sort it all out. So we're going to go and have some dinner now. I think we've put the world to rights enough now and dancing to rights and confused some of you with acronyms. Found out that Ray needs someone to make him a tutu, and that Margaret doesn't like the smells in Gibraltar when she was pregnant. But other than that, it's all good. It's all good. We're going to go and have some tofu and veg. Kelly's happy about that.
Exciting time. So that's like our main food, isn't it?
No, it hasn't been for a long time, which is why we're going to have it now. Because she said to me, "What are we having for dinner?" She looked, and I said tofu and veg. And
it's always really nice.
She looked all glum. I said, "Come on, Tubbs, let's go and have some tofu and veg."
Very much.
Yeah.
It is always nice, though.
It is. I make it quite tasty.
I know.
But it's it's not too rich, is it? You have a night off tomorrow. You've got a sleepover tomorrow night.
Oh, we do have a sleepover.
Well, a slumber party.
Slumber party. Me and Ella are in the office. I'm going to watch films and
have chocolate probably.
Cover our faces in avocado.
I am going to have last night's leftover chili on my own because I need to be on my own because it's done off. It's just as bad going in as it is out.
Oh, James, I don't think you need to share
It's
that
full
detail.
on. It's
Don't
full
share that
on.
detail.
It's really strong.
I'm really sorry, everyone.
Yeah, anyway, so
Yes.
it's great to see you all. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Not
Hope you
long
enjoyed
now,
that.
guys, until
Not
we
long.
can.
Well, some of you, most people that we're talking to here, we know we're going to see them a little bit, I suppose. But some people we will still see online. The online classes are still going to continue. So, if you haven't already, please do consider signing up to Vincent's workshop next week. You know, it's going to be great. They always are good fun. I'm sure he'll come up with something wonderful for you all to enjoy. Yeah, that's it really.
Let's do it.
I'm hungry. My tummy's rumbling.
Be good.
Be
everyone.
good and
If you can't be good, be naughty.
oh
Or
yeah.
be better. Is what you're supposed to say.
No, I don't know. If you can't be good, just don't film it.
Oh.
Yeah, well, that's the best thing. Everyone films everything nowadays, don't they? For evidence. Because they think, oh, I'll get that on YouTube. I'll make some money out of that.
Well,
Whatever.
yeah. Okay.
Yes. Right.
Take care.
Take care. Be good. Especially you, Margaret. Especially you.
Well, she definitely can't be good.
No, she
She's
can't.
definitely going to
She
be
can't.
naughty.
She can't. Right. Yeah, I'm going to just go. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for stopping
Have a good
by.
weekend. Happy Easter.
It's good night from me.
And I hope you can get together with someone else. And
Just get together with who you want. Just do what you want.
have a hug.
Go and have a laugh.
Have a
Go and have
hug.
some fun. Go and cuddle people. Kiss them. Lick their faces. That's what I'm going to be doing all day tomorrow. Right. It's good night from me.
It's good night from him.
And I'll see you all Wednesday night for more. No, something different. I don't know what we're going to do yet. I'll come up with something. Anyway,
We're
I'm
going to
going
go
now. I'm going now.
Bye.
Bye.